or her salvation. He wouldn't. Okay. So if he's not going to do that, then what's in the book? If the book ain't the real word of God, then why is he giving it to the slave? It has to be something in there for the slave that helps the slave master's agenda. The slave master is not going to give a slave an agenda separate from his own. The slave's only purpose is to serve the master. So any agenda the master has that he involves the slave in is purely for the betterment of the master, not the slave. See, you guys get so caught up in scholarship that you forget common sense is important, or we wouldn't have it. So I don't have to even have a source for what I just told you. That was just common sense. So if it's not for the betterment of the slave, then it's for the betterment of the slave master. That's why there's so many scriptures in the Bible that promote slavery. You have Jesus even said, "Pay Caesar's what is Caesar's." Huh? Why? We have to think. This is called indoctrination. Anytime you conquer a people, you have to replace their belief system. Otherwise, if I can't control your mind, that's where revolts come from. That's where uprisings come from. So the way we diminish the violence, we have to get control of your mental and not just your physical. This is the purpose of religion. I could physically restrain you, but if I don't attack your mental, you'll just keep fighting to the death. And if every slave thought, just keep fighting to the death, which way more of them fought than they will ever tell y'all. But if they all thought like that, then there would be no slavery because we'd have to kill them all. So how do we stop killing them all? How do we make it work? You all think excuse me. What was I gonna say? You all think what's the boy name? See, notes. See, I that boy got notes. Hey, hold on. I shouldn't even have to go through this. See, it was a waste of time. I can't find it anyway. Either way it go. His name was Johann Blumenbach. Johann Blumenbach. This is the person who really changed the game. That came up with the differentiation between slaves, the hierarchy, playing one slave against the other slave. This whole system that you attribute to one man came from another man. This is who really set up the system that allowed the slave master to be able to get some sleep from all them revolts, because we was tearing it up. Don't never let them think they just brought us over here and we just laid down. It was revolts everywhere, bro. Every time you turn around, we was trying to get away. It's just that we didn't know where to go. Like we somewhere completely different. So you have to understand that this system is the beginning stages of what you see right now. Light skin don't like light skin don't like dark skin. Dark skin don't like light skin. The man got a problem with the woman. The woman got a problem with the man. The youth got a disconnect from the elderly. The elderly got a disconnect from the youth. This was an intentional thing done. Do you have any idea what it's like? You take the man, the woman, and the child. The first thing you do is you separate the children. Get them away from the parents. Then you take the man and the woman, and you rape the man in front of the woman and make her watch. Psychologically, this tells her, your man can't do nothing to help you. Your king, the one you've been praising your whole life, the one that you was born into this world for him, had to wait 14, 15 years until you were of age, and then your parents gave you to that specific king for that specific purpose. That guy can't do nothing for you. I'm going to take his manhood and prove it. Psychologically, after seeing that so many times, she realizes that there's no future in supporting him no more because he can't do nothing. Now, not fair to him, but the reality is, as he sat on the throne, as powerful and vicious as he was, and I don't mean vicious in a mean way, I mean vicious as in handling his business, making sure nobody stepped on the toes of the throne. But when that area gets invaded and that same pinnacle of strength is dragged out through the masses, shackled up just like everybody else, brought over here, and now you stand across from, and that's not the same image that you had before you left home. This man right here is bleeding and begging for mercy. And it only takes so much of that before she realized, he can't help me no more. This is done on purpose because he knows she's going to have to turn to me. This is the real power. I can do anything to your man I want to. I can have both of y'all if I want at the same time and force you to participate and watch me violate both of y'all. So it doesn't take too long for her to realize that right now, in this space and time, this is the real power. Now she has to start thinking in singularity and fending for herself. Same thing happened to him. Now, after he recovers from how he's been treated, and he see that same woman getting flaunted around by the same person who just did it to him, what does that do for him mentally? How could she? Well, all these horrible thoughts. But not knowing that she's in the same thing he's in, survival mode. Whatever I could do to prevent from what just happened to you, I'm a woman. I'm not as durable. I'm not as tough. Not I can't, whatever the case may be. She justified it in her mind, and she went into survival mode. Now the children that got separated, they will be raised by Massa. From the rooter to the tutor, they will grow up with an extreme amount of fear and respect in their heart for Massa. And they also will be taught they come from the jungle. They're not that bright. And this is why they're captured. And then the Bible's going to tell them that they pissed off God and they earned it. So you see, that scenario I just broke down from you, that is the family structure that we come from. That core is what we come from our inception into this country. Now, that did so many different things, you wouldn't even be able to fathom the effects that it can have on the individual. And what about the onlookers? What about the other slaves that sat back and watched this whole process, watching other slaves get beat to within inches of their life just because they wouldn't do this or wouldn't do that? This creates a fear like you wouldn't believe. And this fear is carried all throughout the plantation. Nobody wants what I don't care how strong you are. when you watch somebody literally get whipped to within inches of their life, where their entire back is bloody red from skin, and then they walk off and just let them lay there in the sun all day till they bleed to death and die. You watch that enough times, you change your thought process too, brother. This is indoctrination. This is how vicious it is. This is what you're dealing with. So y'all can stop thinking that your little pretty religion is some godly thing. God is not even what you think, first of all. And to show you how twisted your mind is, you sisters sit around here, women in general, call yourself Christians, for a religion that says you don't matter. Can't be a preacher. Can't be this. Can't be that. You've been on the back burner for this religion since day one. And God's a he. You start the prayer with our Father. And to you that makes sense. How could God be a he? Did you come from a woman or a man? You came from a woman. Everybody watching this freaking presentation, lecture, whatever you want to call it, everybody watching came from a damn woman. Yet you sit there every Sunday and pray to a he, disregarding the divinity of the woman who had you. And your pig-headed pastor, so full of himself, he stand up there and take all the accolades knowing he ain't never brought nobody into this world. What are you getting all the excitement for? And why is God talking through him? Because he's not. Because if he was, or not even he, if there was a God that you believe that was really talking to your pastor, do you really think half your congregation will still be broke as hell with kids that don't listen? Your neighborhood's broke as I don't know what. The only thing worth anything in your area is the church. You know your whole congregation ain't not one of them hit it big since you've been going to church. Jesus walk into the church, flip over the table and tell you don't buy no figurines. You walk into the church and say, Pastor, can I get 3 candles? Indoctrination. You just do stuff. You don't think about it. You just do stuff. You don't think about it. And I don't even believe in the Jesus Christ. But in the book, he didn't even like church. So why do y'all go on Sunday? You don't think about that? Indoctrination. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And then 1865, after slavery, after they taught you that it was your fault, and they put that old dumb religion in you and indoctrinated you and got you talking to God like he's a man, and all that crap's going on. Now they're gonna free the slaves. But here's where y'all, once again, y'all don't pay attention. They're getting ready to free the slaves and they call it a civil war. So let me get this straight. Y'all been dragging us around and kicking our ass for 250 plus years. Now it's time to get some get back and we got to be civil. Why are we having a civil war? And then y'all still think it was about freeing the slaves. They don't give a shit. If they cared about freeing the slaves, why is the world still like it is? They ain't free the slaves now. Private prisons got more slaves than there ever was on the plantation. Did you know that? Did you know it's more black folks, black men in private prisons right now than it ever was on the slave plantations? Will y'all pay attention to anything? Was BET Awards on? Anyway, This is where we got to start waking up at. This is where we got to wake up and pay attention to what these people are doing. Something's being done. Stop acting like something's not being done. And in your heart, you know it. You just too freaking lazy to look. You want to do what you want to do. You want to smoke weed, kick it and all that shit. But you want to pick up a fucking book. Okay, I don't want to pick up one either. Watch a documentary. Roll the biggest blunt you ever fucking rolled and watch a documentary. They bored when I fall asleep. Okay, well, look. Fall your dumb ass to sleep. When you wake up, fire the weed back up and press play. There's no excuse. What are you going to do? You're just going to keep living your fucking existence like who cares? Okay, so what? You make a lot of fucking money and you provide for your family. What does that do? You still going to die, and when you die, they still going to do niggas like they was doing niggas when you was alive. So what was your contribution to the world? In the larger scheme of things, fuck your family and fuck mine too. How does me taking care of my family do something for the fucking world that is killing and enslaving black people? Do you care? Because when you driving around and I'm in the car with you motherfuckers, as soon as the blue lights come on, first thing y'all say, these crackers tripping. These white folks hate us. Man, they so racist. Right. Okay, now what? See, you can blame white folks all the fuck you want to. I don't care and they don't care. And I'm going to tell you why neither one of us care about you blaming them. Because you ain't going to do shit. So keep blaming them. They don't got no problem being the bad guy. They're playing the role of God and the devil. You think they give a shit which one you take them for? As long as you believe in one of them, don't matter. They'll trick you on this end or trick you on that end. What are you going to do? Anything? Probably not. And then, in this Civil War, you had the North versus the South. Isn't it amazing that some of you Negroes fought with them bitches to keep us enslaved? How do we have niggas on both sides? If the war was about freeing slaves, how do we have niggas on both forces fighting? This revolutionary crap is hard. Anyway, it's just, quite naturally I'm being cynical and a jerk, but I just think that we need to think. We don't have to just go along. Just start using some common sense thoughts. But what do we got? What I do next? Oh yeah. So then I was gonna say, I got the notes, boy. Them notes is killing y'all right now. But what I was gonna say is, okay, so now you got after the Civil War. Let's just push it on a little bit, because damn, we've been here for a minute, and I know y'all probably ain't even gonna watch half of this, but I'll do it anyway. So after the Civil War, allegedly we're free, or whatever the case may be, and then excuse me. Now here's where it gets really weird for me, because I understand following the doctrine once enslaved, because it's all you got. But you Negroes got out of shackles and went to church? You Negroes got out of the shackles and took your ass to praise the same damn Jesus that just had you locked up? Because my thoughts is, I can't pray to the same God that they praying to, because they God told them to do this to us. So at the first taste of freedom, shouldn't I be looking for a new God? Because it's saying like the one I've been praying to is kind of biased. But I bought into the concept that I earned this. Isn't that, for all you Hebrew Israelite brothers? All hypothetical, of course. Nobody's stepping on his toes. But don't you think it's just a tad bit convenient that we have a doctrine that says that we earned the heinous shit that happened to us? Isn't that just a little too convenient for your oppressor? Just following that thought process, if it were true. Because if it's true, then realistically, the European has done nothing wrong but play his part, and we shouldn't be upset. We should actually kind of thank him, because if not for his enslaving us, then we wouldn't have this deliverance. Y'all believe that bullshit? It's amazing that it's like a million niggas running around in purple believing that bullshit. No disrespect. Sometimes I just get ahead of myself. Anyway. I'm almost scared to look at my notes, y'all. These dudes be killing me. Let me see. Oh, my Lord. And do you even know the purpose of the Civil War? Because it wasn't about freeing your black ass per se. It was a financial thing. Money was funny. One side say, y'all can't keep doing it because the money funny. The other side say, nigga, we gonna keep doing it. Then they say, y'all can't. Then they say, you know what, F you, we going our own way. Then they say, hey, we finna bang. So they fought. For money, not your black ass. Hope I didn't pop anybody's bubble, but they never cared about abolishing slavery. Even Lincoln said, if it was a way to spare the Union and keep slaves, I would. But I fear there is no other recourse. So much for your hero. Nobody likes me. Anywho, it's just never what you guys think. And my whole thing is, like I said, how do you get out from 250 plus years of slavery in this country and celebrate Christmas? The same shit you was celebrating when you was a slave. How do you get free and go put a fucking tree up in your corner? Thanksgiving. What do you have to be thankful for? When they was tricking the shit out the Native Americans, they was bringing a bunch of y'all laying around the corner. What are you so excited about? It would appear to me the only person that was having fun on that day was his ass. And I don't even know why y'all keep saying Native Americans. Who the fuck gonna prove that they was here before us? You do it, I give you 1,000. Prove somebody was in America before us. You're not gonna, but I'll hold 1,000 for you just in case you get lucky. My point is, once again, indoctrination. You don't study crap. You just believe whatever the hell they tell you. If you black and you watching this, surprise, you're the damn Native American. Look at the date. Look at the date when they told you it was the first Thanksgiving. Then look at the date I told you when Africans got to this country. We was around the corner getting shackled while they was eating turkey and shit. And killing Indians. Who ain't really Indians because they not from India. I think y'all be confused as hell though. Anyway. So now, Civil War is over. Black folks celebrate all the dumb shit that they did. Easter. Which I never seen a Jesus basket. But Maybe there is one. Kind of worries me. Yeah, so anyway. All right, we'll fast forward. Civil War is over with. Everybody's got a Jesus basket. Fast forward a few years. We get Black Wall Street. 65, 90, 10. We're looking at about 30 years after 250 years of servitude. We got Black Wall Street. They get mad, burn it to the ground. I already talked about that a couple of times. I ain't going to go into it. But it's something else that I find rather funny. Right around that time is when the Black Street Gangs began. So if I had to go on a whim, I would say once they burned our shit down, we realized that the Jesus way wasn't going to get it. Because we built all of that with no military presence. So what's to stop them from taking it? Just like y'all go to church now and you think praying to Jesus is going to stop them from doing something to y'all. Which, from my studies and my experience, I don't think Jesus has ever stopped them from whooping on you Negroes. If I go deeper into my experience, a lot of people who whooped on you Negroes, once they took their hoods off, they had on crosses. You nasty. Y'all believe in the same God. Ain't it weird to pray to the same God as the Klan? Sometimes y'all probably be in the same church with them. You know that? And if you black and you go to a church with a white pastor, that pastor could be a Klan man too. You never know. I ain't saying it is, but you never know. Since most Klan people are Christians. And they want to make this world better for little white Christian babies. How that even makes sense to them, I don't know. But this is how people mind work. Either way, go back to my wonderful notes. And I did the whole thing on street gangs, and y'all completely ignored that. That they have so many connections to secret societies and the government. It's ridiculous. But nobody wants to deal with that either. Which means they were built to protect themselves, just like everything else. At some point got infiltrated, and here we are now. That's how it goes, my friend. And what happens after the gangs? Civil rights movement, baby. What y'all thought? Civil rights, baby. We got Dr. King. We're going to get some civil rights. First you had the Civil War, then you had civil rights. How come every time they want to deal with Negroes, we got to be peaceful? We had to be peaceful to get our freedom. Now, after being free, we got to be peaceful to get rights. Why do free people have to go try to get rights? And how come Asians get Asian rights, Hispanics go for Hispanic rights, and we go for civil rights? We just want people to be nice to us. We don't care about nothing else. Just stop spreading up with the water hose. Please. At least our predecessors was willing to get sprayed with water hose. You niggas wouldn't get sprayed with a water gun. Y'all don't want to do nothing. You just want to do drugs and show your crack money. Which I've done plenty of drugs and had crack money, so I ain't judging. But I'm just saying, when do we wake up? Like, we're going to do this forever? Like, where's the growth? Where's the fucking desire to care? Something. Because every time it's our turn, we got to be civil. They do everything they want to us. But when we get ready to fix it, we got to be civil. All I'm doing is trying to prove a point. Just like I said in the last one. You think like your masters. On every level, they've tricked you. And you keep making excuses for the trickery. Not only are they tricking you, you're justifying why they should trick you more every chance. And you got no problem with that. It's just kind of weird to me. Moving right along. Now, here's the funny part. After they give you civil rights, which that was such a horrible thing, it's ridiculous. Integration on almost every level destroyed black economics. And I spoke about that in the last one that y'all probably didn't watch. So why talk about it again when you didn't watch the last one? But either way it goes, that's just how it is, brother. You give us civil rights, destroy our economics, and then you create a policy called benign neglect, which means anytime y'all got issues, now that y'all got rights, anytime you got significant issues, we're going to look over here and pretend you ain't say nothing. Huh? What? Poverty? Nah. That's black on black crime. Racism? Nah. The black people just haven't adjusted yet. They're turning up their communities. Yeah. That's what my son be doing now. He too. Y'all make me do that to y'all. I don't know. I'm getting tired of looking at my nose. They're depressing. But this benign neglect thing, where we're gonna implement you into society for the sake of fixing our busted up ass economy, because, well, the only way we ever made it in the first fucking place was because we had y'all for slaves who did everything. And now that we don't have you for slaves anymore, we are kind of clueless. So we're going to need you to help out. But we're not going to pay very much for it. And in the event that you should have a problem, we prefer to pretend that it doesn't exist until you just go away. But keep working. Appreciate it. This is the policy that they drew up. Put that with a welfare system that ultimately was created for white folks. Now, when y'all think of welfare, the first thing y'all think of is us. That shit was for us in the first place. And we didn't get the benefits of that for about 30 years. 40 damn near, really. Welfare was created in the 1920s. Early 1920s. We didn't start really getting it. I mean, we got benefits, but like I said, it was predominantly for white folks. So most black people didn't even meet the criteria because most of our work was farm work with under the table pay. So you couldn't really even meet the welfare criteria. Excuse me. And then in the 60s, they came up with the basically with the policy that says if the man get caught in there, you lose your benefits. So this is a woman's only situation. Now, if the man get caught in the household, you lose the welfare benefits. So now the man is not going to get his woman and him put out, so he's going to stay away from the house. Like I said, I explained this before, but this is what you're dealing with. So now, if you got the man that can't come in the house, then you got now the implement of crack by the CIA on record, proving that the CIA created and distributed crack throughout the ghettos of America intentionally in the 80s. And you have a hip-hop music culture that is fueling the sale of the crack. Because if the only wealth you've seen in the black community It's through these musicians who are glorifying this drug. Then guess what you're going to want to do? Be a musician who glorifies drugs. You ain't seen no other way else to get up out of this fucking rat race you're in. And then people keep saying, they gave us the crack, but you didn't have to sell it. I tell you what, let me put your dumb ass in the middle of nowhere for 2 years. When I come back, you'll sell any goddamn thing I give you. Or you'll die. Simple. Some people prefer not to die. This is what you're facing. This is what you're up against. A wicked, dog shit ass system. Stop believing that there was ever any good intentions in this system for us. It was not designed for us. So therefore, there will never be anything in it that is for us unless it is by us. Excuse me, y'all. It's getting late. So now, I told y'all I was going to bring this thing full circle, so I'm about to wrap it up. Now, with the implementing of crack by the government, now, this is a multifaceted plan, because in the initial constitution of this country, we were only labeled as 3/4 of a human. So our participation in this country was only ever to be a labor class, not for this equality shit that Dr. King lured us into. We were here to be a working class. So now amenities have to be made so that the people who were designed to stay in power stay in power. Ain't gonna be no shift in paradigm unless we burn it down. They're not giving it back because they took it by force, so they're not giving it back. Why would they? And this is something that we need to understand. This is why they do things like bring AIDS into the black community, which is a fact. AIDS has a patent number. So I know whoever watches is going to say, you crying, you complaining. No. AIDS has a patent number. Anything with a patent number is an invention. Stop being so freaking blind. One day this deadly, horrible disease just pop up out of nowhere and they tell y'all it came from some fucking monkeys in Africa. Okay, when the fuck did we ever fuck monkeys? Bestiality is not our thing. Look at the history. And look up bestiality and see who participated in it and see who didn't. It was never the African. So ain't no monkeys got no STDs in Africa. And who would ever even say some crap or believe some crap like that in the first place? This is a wicked dog shit system. Understand that, and then you'll better be able to navigate your way through it. Now, what was the purpose for all of this? To re-implement slavery, but to get it right this time. The birth of private prisons. The private prison complex. Do you know that label heads from the hip-hop industry met with execs from the prison industry and went into a partnership to build private prisons?